Welcome to the Week 4 wrap-up of this special 10th anniversary Blood, Sweat, and Beers season, where I ask, why do I keep playing this stupid game? What an emotional roller coaster this week was. And it wasn't just watching a game or two. This spanned multiple days. And I'm sure you guys know exactly what I'm thinking, how this goes, right? It's not exactly team anxiety level. I'm a little more balanced than that, I like to think. But Thursday night, right? I can't start Cousins against the Rams. I just can't. It's the Rams, their defense. Cousins couldn't even pull it together against the Bills. 400 yards, 3 touchdowns. I'm kicking myself. I'm like, great. Roster mismanagement all over again, right? That's why I lost a couple weeks ago. I put the wrong quarterback in. That made the difference. Here we go again. So Thursday night, I'm already starting on that roller coaster, unfortunately starting down. Then Sunday, record the Packer game, so my wife and I can watch that. Can't watch any scores, can't look at anything. Don't want to get tipped off to what's going on. So about 3:30, I finally get to sit down and we start watching the game. I'm watching the little ticker as it goes across, all the scores, all the stats, and I'm trying to do the math in my head and trying to figure out, okay, how many points do different parts of my team have here? A lot of them went in the early game, so I started to realize that I had a pretty decent score going. I mean, at least what I could muster up in my head. It seemed like it was a pretty good score. I thought I actually had a pretty decent chance at winning. So I started to feel pretty good about it. Packers win. I go to check the scores. 156 points, which is awesome, except for I'm 30 points down, which I didn't even know how to feel about that. I seriously just stared at the score and I thought, how do I score 156 and I'm 30 down? And he's not even finished yet. John's other team just crushed me. It was a roller coaster. It was up and down. I don't know why we do this every single week. Apparently we're compelled masochists. I don't know what the deal is, but we'll continue to do it. I'll keep going. Obviously, I can't quit. Quitting makes it somehow is even worse. So hopefully next week's a little bit easier. Hopefully at least it's either all good or all bad. I'll take either one. That way I don't have hopes and dreams dashed to pieces. Because for the second time this year already, I scored the third highest points of the weekend and still lost. So playing the guy who scores the most is kind of a bummer. I mean, unless you just had a bad week anyway and most everybody else would have beat you. But when you have a good week, it's actually my best week of the season, and you still get crushed, like crushed, 60 points crushed, it's a little difficult to take. So that's my rant on that. It is what it is. But yes, even Keith, with your 154 and your little Alvin Kamara and being all excited about him, still would beat you. So anyway, just something to think about. First 200-point game, we finally had it. Keith came close a couple years ago, 196. We had Gloop with 199.5 last year. So we don't round up, otherwise he would have had it, but shattered the 200-point barrier there, and sitting in all by yourself at the top. The 200-point club is lonely right now. So enjoy that, John's other team. I really thought that we had sort of an unwritten, unspoken understanding when we drafted that team, that when that team played us, you or me, John, it wouldn't that would be a win, right? That was kind of how I thought we went into that, but obviously it should have been written or spoken, because that clearly didn't happen this time. But a lot of big points, a lot of big scores all the way around. I don't think we've ever had 4 teams over 150 points before, so that was kind of interesting. And even with Keith's dud of an 87 down there, we still scored. We averaged 138 points, which is kind of interesting. So wouldn't have helped me any, but I'm really thinking, John, that team that I played, I know it wasn't all the players we drafted. There's been a few pickups along the way. Nice job. You've made a couple good ones. But of the players you and I drafted, 148 points of that score. I feel like we should somehow get an assist or something. I mean, literally, it's like thirds, right? I got a third, you got a third, your alter ego got a third. We're going to call him John, too. We're going to call him Mini John. We need to come up with a good name for your alter ego there, playing your second team. Anyway, nice job. 200 points, a lot of scores. I read on NFL.com that more touchdown passes through the first 4 weeks of the season than any other season in NFL history, by like 23 or whatever. So those guys are throwing them, guys are catching them. Obviously, we got a lot more scores going on. They even said that there were 12 unique quarterbacks that have already thrown for over 400 yards this year, which is also a record through 4 weeks of the season. So I guess if they're slinging it on the field, then in our fake field we get to benefit from that too. So anyway, we'll see how the rest of the season rolls. I know Joey's probably excited about being 4-0, our only undefeated team. Just a word of caution though, Joe. Having a great record on the strength of, I say defense, right? Not the defense you start to get points, but the fact that you have the lowest points against. So nobody's scoring points against you, and that's, contributing obviously to your 4-0. It doesn't last. I can tell you firsthand. Having an awesome regular season record because everybody has their worst game against you. It is cool, but just like being the third highest score this week, again for the second time, and losing, it's nothing but a moral victory, which is good for absolutely nothing. It means nothing. You go away and all you remember is the loss. So I don't know if there's anything for you to do about that, but I just thought it was interesting. 4-0 is awesome. It's also awesome to not have anybody score points against you. It really helps. So anyway, Keith won't win the championship this year. Have a great week.